I love Korea. No, not that one. I love North Korea. It's the most closed-off country on the planet. Getting in is almost impossible. Getting out is even harder. Tourism is heavily controlled, sometimes not allowed at all. From 2020 to 2024, the borders were shut tight. And even when you're allowed to go in, everything you will see will be filtered, approved, and watched. A lot of times, the tour guides ask you to delete the photos you take. You're only shown what they want you to see. But then again, that is somewhat true at different places. This is Los Angeles. It's bright, warm, sunny, and it looks straight out of a movie picture. But this is also Los Angeles. Just a different lens, a different street, and a different story. This is Mexico, but this is also Mexico. The truth is, once the camera is in your hands, you can point it anywhere. With light, framing, and color, you can make the same place feel full of life or totally empty and broken. That's what fascinates me about photos from North Korea. The government there is brutal. It's considered one of the most extreme dictatorships in the world. But we know this. Propaganda and prison camps. You can be punished just for saying the wrong thing. Something out of a 1984 book. Because it's so cut off, they are in a time capsule. In Pyongyang, which I hope I'm pronouncing right, the capital, life looks frozen in the early 2000s. There's no internet, almost no phones unless you're really rich, and there's a lot of outdated tech. Outside of the capital, it's even further back, closer to 1970s. People ride bikes, work on farms, go home to villages with almost no electricity at night. People really struggle to survive there, but they still have to live there and build a life. Someone's getting up for work in the morning, someone's reading a book on their weekend, someone's laughing over dinner, someone's annoyed that the eggs got more expensive. A lot of it is just life. That's why I wanted to seek out photos that show more normal life under the regime. What kind of life can be sustained under these conditions? And more importantly, how our perception of the country affects the photos. Here's a woman at a reception desk in a hotel. Interior design is my favorite part about North Korean photography. Like how the main wall painting is completely covered by the pool floaties and old lockers. When did they move it there? How long has it been there? Another thing of the past are the traffic controllers. They're a recurring subject in North Korean photography. Their uniforms are striking and a little bit playful. There's bright blues, stiff hats, pristine white gloves. I also love the dashes of color there, like yellow and green. There's something oddly elegant about them, like they're stepping out of a storybook. I don't remember the last time I saw white gloves as a part of a uniform. The emblem and the hat take the whole price for me. Only with this photo did I notice how huge the top part of the uniform is. And the casual style shades add so much to the aesthetic. And another thing that is easy to spot is how portraits of the leaders are absolutely everywhere. Imagine if your entire room was completely empty and the only photo on the wall would be the photo of your manager. But even in all of this, there's some kind of beauty in a strange way. Trains with fake wood paneling, dim lighting due to low electricity resources. The kids are still curious to see the photographer. I think most kids would have the same reaction, which is kind of a universal human experience. One person is laughing and another is expressionless. Is he exhausted, suspicious of the photographer, or just caught in the mid-thought? We will never know. And that photo might look a little bit lonely and separated, but here's another photo with a different angle. There's more people, more life to it, and besides really dark environment and really weird aesthetic of the interior design, I find it kind of comforting because it looks almost exactly the same as if it was my morning going to work on a train station. There's something about a universal human experience going on a train that we can all relate to. And even the markets have a familiar feel. Yes, half of the shelves are empty, cashiers wear stiff traditional uniform, and that kind of reminds me of the old corner stores from Eastern Europe. It is sparse, but full of quiet dignity. And a lot of the photos have military uniform, military buildings. Back in the day, that's how it was. In order to move up out of poverty, if you don't have rich parents or connections, you would have to go to the army. A lot of people wear military-style clothes, especially women. And that reminds me of the Soviet Union, where joining an army or a factory has been normal for all genders. I think it's pretty safe to say that in modern days, we see mostly men wearing those uniforms, especially outside. Whenever I see this photo, it gives me a perspective of how different someone's life can be. What if she was born somewhere else? Would she be at a club with her friends, ordering a burger and fries on a Saturday afternoon just like the rest of us? If she was born in a different city, would she ever consider joining the military? And I loved this photo on the beach as well. You guessed it. Lifeguard has a somewhat of a military attire as well. The more I look at this photo, the more I think about how much sand he has to bring home in his shoes after the shift. Does he ever get jealous of the people there who can go in the water and he can't? And this is one of my favorite photos as well. That's where the Kim Sung and Kim Jong lie. These gates might be the most expensive yet lifeless looking doors ever made in human history. The most intricate details and mastery on the handles and the patterns. It looks beautiful, but absolutely no design work or intricacy was made around, and it makes it look so lifeless and empty. There's so many details in the handles, but the gates themselves open horizontally. It's almost like giving a microwave oven the handles of a cathedral door. I kind of love how far and ridiculous the idea in the architecture goes in North Korea. Despite the sterile uniform world, people still find joy, distraction, and routine. Life still goes on. All people play table games, maybe even chess, maybe a game of dice. The buildings, though falling apart, are brightly painted. It might look cartoony at times, but the architecture is nothing but fun to look at. And that is one of the things about North Korea I notice is how colorful things are. This one has a soft blue tint to it and a bright red pen with a portrait on it. The colors felt harmonious and even patriotic. And yeah, that's propaganda. That's what it looks like, that's what it feels. Even when I'm looking at this image, I feel somewhat proud of something. I don't think any sane person would believe in the government more after seeing this, but there's something beautiful about it. A lot of wall paintings are present, and they remind me of the Bob Ross style. This one is my favorite by far. It looks huge and detailed, and mixing the door into the wall painting is just genius. Even the bottom part of the door is now part of the room. Many of the hair salons look more like someone's cozy living room than a commercial space, which honestly, I don't mind at all. And the use of retro vintage material is off the chart. There's an abundance of deep greens and bold pops of red that instantly make the place feel warm and inviting. One thing that stands out is the amount of carpet used throughout. It is absolutely everywhere. The patterns are often intricate and playful, adding character and a touch of charm to each room. It all comes together to create a vibe that both is nostalgic and full of personality. The use of old school gradient in the bowling alleys is so goofy, but it fits so well. And finally, the countryside. It's vast, lush, and endlessly green. It's striking how many people still rely on bicycles, mules for transportation. It feels like stepping into a different era, almost feudal in nature. You can sense the hardship. Getting to work or reaching the city must be incredibly difficult. And yet there's something captivating about it. It offers a rare glimpse into a way of life that has all but disappeared. This may be one of the last few places where that traditional rhythm of living still survives. The statues. Lots of photos of big statues, overpowering, of cold metal, towering presence, faces that smile with forced hope. Anything near them becomes symbolic. It's a soldier, a tourist, a janitor, it doesn't matter. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, is that our idea of North Korea plays a huge part into reading photographs from North Korea. In this one, there's a child carrying cleaning supplies. Maybe she's just waiting for her mom to walk up to her, or a teacher on a field trip. I don't know when this photo was taken, but she's probably a lot older now. Maybe her life turned out meaningful, like it would be for any other child anywhere else in the world. While searching for photos from North Korea, I saw a big amount of articles, stories, and pictures that show you how horrible it is to live there. And I'm not trying to disregard any of those struggles. I think in general, I'm just surprised that even under this regime, under this dictatorship, people who live there still find small bits and pieces of joy and are trying to build a life, even though there's not a lot to begin with. Maybe that is why I like looking at them, because it also gives me a perspective on a different life, because the worst day in Europe or America is probably still better than the best day of an average soldier in North Korea. But that's just an assumption that I'm making when I look at those photos.